All right. Greetings. We're now going live. Welcome to Dorsey's Resource. The topic of this video is going to be my previous videos. I want to assure you were straight from my heart. I wanted to let you all know, but first of all, before we get into the topic of the video, I want to thank all my subscribers, all those that have stayed loyal throughout the years that have followed me on this journey. Want to say real quick, I appreciate you. Big shout out to you. I want to thank you uh, from the bottom of my heart. I really, really do appreciate it. Despite this long journey we've been on, through the censorship, through all the things, all the people that have also shared my videos in the past that felt it was important, I want to separately say thank you as well. It still, helped out, helped the channel, even though I didn't do certain things to really take things to the next level as I was trying to previously, despite the attack that we came under with the censorship. But thank you to uh, the channels that did. Big shout out to Currency 365, the work they did, Money Boy, others out there in the past when I did those black card videos earlier on. So this video today, this topic is kind of like sort of a recap. I want to assure you, I may go into where we're headed if I decide to do videos in the future down the road, and wanting to upgrade my content and do bring you guys better quality, better visuals that you all can see related to the topics that I go over. Is something I've always wanted to do, and I have been looking into investing in the equipment down the road. I had someone some years ago that was going to be assisting me with basically the studio work, but the way that went, it didn't kind of go as planned. So I kind of just did this things on my own, kind of an impromptu. When I started this YouTube channel, by the way, I was actually inspired by a friend of mine told me years ago, several people actually, but two people that I knew. One of them I haven't been in touch with in quite a while. The other one I stay in touch with from time to time. Then the other person I haven't talked to her in quite a number of years. By the way, someone I went to the same college as me had recommended that I start a channel. Told me years ago through my old Facebook page that I deactivated. By the way, but that's neither here nor there. I just want to assure you, in case you're wondering, that the topics that I talked about, I discussed in the past, were genuinely straight from my heart. I would try to update you guys if there was something I felt, something I said that may have been misleading or accurate in relation to the sovereign stuff, or I call redemption education. There's been a leapfrog in the technology information, so you guys know I don't really do videos in particular talking about that type of stuff. I wanted to, but down the road, I wanted to kind of have better visuals and invest in particular software where I would be able to share my screen and kind of go over some basic to advanced information, which I've done previously, but just as a refresher, some new information, stuff that I come across. But that's another topic I don't really do videos discussing. I don't really talk about the dinars. But however, I want to assure you that other videos in general that I talked about, everything I shared was a courtesy. But for future reference down the road, if I do decide to do videos more consistently and build the channel up, I'm going to invest in better software, better studio equipment, better microphones, stuff like that, just to give you guys a heads up. I'm also still got plans down the road, if it's either through a YouTube membership or Patreon account. What I've decided to do for future reference, just to give you guys a preview for down the road, like more of the advanced stuff, when people ask me about the private Telegram rooms and stuff that I'm part of, and other important tidbits of information that I go in depth about, that I'm pretty upfront. A lot of people have told me, I've shared a lot of my personal business stuff like that. Will be exclusive to Patreon members down the road. If you want to know certain things that I can break down much further, go in depth, share some top high level secrets that I know, things of that sort, little nuances, things, questions people may not ask. Because I've had people tell me in person that I've shared stuff with that I've even met for the first time. I could tell you guys a story last year, but I would save that story for Patreon because I feel, now in the age where people are monetizing based off their talent and the way the dynamics of social media has changed, many content creators, influencers, digital creators, micro influencers have been forced to do these types of things to monetize their content because a lot of content out here is also, copyright infringement stuff is shared. People do a lot of review videos, and a lot of times people want a lot of things for free. But some people have particular niches that they're good at, particular skills, and I've been told this by myself in certain areas or regards. So what I've decided to do is I have a free side, but the advanced stuff people ask me about that takes me more time. Like when I said I did the previous video about kind of giving a preview about the religious stuff I was going to expose because a friend of mine introduced me to a sister who wanted to reach out to me because he told him about a little background about myself, how I grew up as a preacher kid, and I wasn't allowed to, do certain things, play with certain toys. My parents were really strict. My mother, in particular, by the way. So the passenger who my friend was picking up one day, I found out was part of some organization, a group called the Faith Community. And she stated to him, he told her she had a similar story that her mother, somebody had thrown away or didn't allow her to read manga books. I didn't know it's like a form of Japanese anime. I'm still not too familiar with it, but similar concept. She grew up in the church as well and was telling him about the destructive theology. And I wanted to go in depth because I felt myself it was important for African Americans. Now, some people may not be able to relate to this, but growing up as a black man, melanated man, African American experience is different as a preacher kid compared to the experiences that many others have where I grew up during a time period that was really strict. Nowadays, we're in an era where a lot of times people are very sensitive and things, certain things that are not accepted years ago are really accepted now, and people have changed. I understand that you can adapt, you can change with the times, by the way. But back during my time period when, I was coming up, so she felt, make a long story short, she said, "Oh, give him my number. I want to heal him or whatever." And I like the information she basically went over. I do agree with wholeheartedly about when I woke up years ago, it matched up similarly to what I learned about Christianity, the destructive theology. We talked about white supremacy, colonialism, things of that sort. And I just want to understand, I'm not pushing no agenda. I'm not a registered voter. By the way, even though I have given my opinions in the past, I've even had to tell my friends, certain relatives that put me in a category as a conservative because of the way I felt about Trump versus Kamala or whatever. I said, no, you got to understand that in the day, I do support reparations, which a lot of Republicans, conservatives do not support that, even black conservatives, by the way, which I don't understand, but I know that the history. And I think on both sides, there's a lot of flaws. I think people are forced, when it comes to politics, are forced to pick a side, and you don't have a lot of options to choose from. You're forced, and a lot of things are polarizing nowadays. A lot of things have become politicized because of the major corporations, the mainstream media, stuff like that. I think is behind that. But I just wanted to say I'm practical. I use common sense, and I could relate to what the sister, and she felt she could relate. My friend told her a story. It was one particular toy or whatever I had I wasn't allowed to play with. And there was different instances I had. I remember one Christmas I had a toy that was thrown away in a garbage can. Actually, my other cousin, that her grandmother stayed down the street from my other grandmother. told me after the fact, because her and her grandmother got it for me as a gift. I don't remember how old I was, but I do remember this story. My mom was like, "You're not allowed. You're not going to be allowed to play with that." It was called a Visionary or something. You can look up. They got a lot of this stuff on eBay because I'm a collector, not only with the gaming stuff, but some figures. There's different types of fanboys and fangirls out there, so everybody's not into the same genre. But this sister, she felt it was important to reach out to me, and I appreciate that information that she shared with me. She said she told my friend, once we arranged the meeting and we spoke in three-way in person, she said she felt it would be very affirming to me, and I do agree with her, and I think it is definitely truth to that. And I started to want to delve deep because Christianity and Black culture, a lot of people don't know the true history. So I think for stuff like that I go more in depth with down the road, if I do decide to still do YouTube videos in the future, not saying how long it will be until I develop an infrastructure and get my financial revenue capital up so I can invest in the equipment, proper equipment, to show you guys evidence. It's also going to take me time. I saw some of the comments from you all in a previous video. Thank you all that did comment. Sorry I wasn't able to get there to you guys' comments in a timely fashion. As you know, from this channel in particular, just to give you a heads up, because of the censorship, when they took down my other channel that was connected to this channel was my original largest channel, my original large channel. I have a new channel at Dorsey's Resource 873 at Dorsey's Resource. If you either put in the S on YouTube or subtract the S, but put it in the YouTube search engine, you should be able to find it. It's kind of tricky because I did it myself. Sometimes it wouldn't pull up. But if you type in Dorsey's Resource with the S, or you take the S out of it, it's tricky with the algorithm. But because of the censorship and stuff, I wasn't able to comment. I cannot no longer log into my back office. And you guys might mention why every so often I repeat this, because I still notice it still tells me my subscriber count was going up at a certain point, and I still had subscribers, people coming over here for the first time. So I had to let them know that I can't, from this channel, because of the censorship and shadow banning, I can still do videos because of StreamYard software. I thank StreamYard, appreciate it. I had no idea at first, or else I wouldn't have been able to even log in anymore. It's still, I can go into my email, but they blocked me from my channel. This is how evil YouTube is. And that's why I did a video on here and told you guys about other platforms to join a long time ago, even though I'm not on there that much, but I felt I at least could do my part and give out the warning, what was coming, and how bad things were getting with this censorship. Like there's other platforms like Rumble, BitChute, Band.video. Mike Adams, the Health Ranger, has a site called Brighteon.com. There's Getter, GETTR, something like that. Getter is similar to Twitter. Then Mike Lindell had came up with a social media platform of himself called Frank Speech. Then remember Parler, they shut Parler down, was actually growing significantly, and Parler was sabotaged. Parler was like very similar to Twitter. Candace Owens' husband had purchased it. Then I think he sold it. He ended up selling it, but he purchased it from someone else, and they sabotaged but Parler actually was doing really well. Boycotts do work. A lot of conservatives, because of the censorship, they migrated over to Parler. I had a channel page over there as well. I don't know if it'll ever come back or what happened with Parler. You also have Minds.com. It's a whole list of social medias. You even have for black spaces out there. Black Spot was one. It's the only one I can think of. There's some others out there where people are migrating. They're creating like their own echo chambers, or safe spaces to basically talk about what they want to talk about. So it shows you on both sides. I think this free speech thing is questionable, by the way, but I think it was egregiously, being monitored and manipulated by the Democrats, which I actually have bookmarked evidence a while ago that a federal judge told during the Biden and Kamala's administration when they were still in office to stop illegally spying on Americans, because several states had sued the Biden administration. It's like multiple states. I know New Orleans was one of them. They teamed up with some other states and found there was egregious violations. There was even truth to election meddling between Katie Hobbs and Kerry Lake out in Arizona. You know, some things I don't know too much about, but when Elon, by the way, who had taken over Twitter, I know a lot of people don't like him. They call him a white supremacist, this, that, and other. But he did discover a lot of fraudulent activity was going on Twitter, just like Facebook was turning into an echo chamber, and they were egregiously, and still at times it's clean. He's cleaned it up quite a bit, but I do hear stories. It's not perfect, even Rumble, that there is censorship, but I would say it's about 90%, 80 to 90% better than what it used to, because they were turning it into an echo chamber, and it's a lot of virtue signaling and stuff like that going on. And that's why my personal Facebook account, I deactivated. I hadn't been on there, and like I can't even remember how long. But in case you're wondering, you guys still see my Dorsey's Resource pages on Facebook. That's because I have moderators kind of set up from other channels where I can log in. I have password, username credentials, or my moderators can log in, or I can log in, and they can share my videos to those pages, just mainly just to help optimize the viewership, to kind of help bypass all of the censorship. But it just helps a little bit when you can optimize, you can use other platforms. That's why a lot of people are on TikTok. I actually have a page on TikTok, but I haven't been on there. It's not under Dorsey's Resource, but a lot of people, just kind of giving you guys an idea, use these other social media platforms to share their content and actually, from a marketing perspective, get their content out there so people could see it, because there's a lot of, big money that came in some years ago, big players and advertisement, corporate, stuff gets commercialized, and they want to have monopolies and dominate and say you can't talk about this and you can't do that. It's not just political, but it's also like big bank take little bank. You have a lot of that going on, and that's why antitrust laws were created, to help create checks and balances for businesses, for smaller businesses, or people in the public square of social media space, that people come to compete or share ideas or creativity, or artistic work. It's a lot of commercialized weaponization of the banks, corporate entities, powerful political figures, and billionaires and people in the shadows, not just on the right, but egregiously on the left, that want to control speech and want to shut speech down. That's why it's important to stand up for freedom of speech, no matter what side of the political aisle that you're on. But understand at the end of the day that even if you don't agree with someone's speech, it's still important, because the globalists, the ruling class, that the evil ones that want to depopulate the world's entire population, that want war, they're into child sex trafficking, they're into wars, brutality, murder, stuff like that, genocide. Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum, the Bilderberg Group, the people like that, the Council on Foreign Relations, King Charles in England, who's heavily tied in with these people, who's a globalist as well, Jean-Claude Juncker, they don't have our best interest at heart, and they want censorship to not get the word out. Just like recently I got word that, sadly, rest in peace to one of the last living accusers of Jeffrey Epstein, they claim committed suicide recently. I can't think of her name. Guffrey or something like that is in her name. I can't think of her full name, but I already knew about the story in advance because I watched the independent media. Now, some mainstream outlets may have picked it up. It's mostly conservative outlets, but she was one of the last survivors, living survivors of the Jeffrey Epstein. So, and she said, she put on a Twitter account some years ago that she was not suicidal. She would never commit suicide, and she got into an accident several weeks ago. It was reported on, and she stated they told her she only had 4 days to live, and she died a little bit after that, not too long ago. And it appears as though she said she got into a car accident, that a bus came out of the blue and crashed right into her. Now I'm like, I don't find that to be a coincidence. When that story was first reported on by Alex on Band.video, I said, no, that's suspect up front. I said, no, they're trying to kill her. And unfortunately, sadly, they're now reporting they're trying to say she committed suicide. But she was the lady. In case you don't know, you can look up where Prince Andrew ended up settling, who's related to King Charles. That she was tied in with that Epstein thing. She was one of the last survivors, whistleblower. So it's believed to be that she's killed. I don't believe, personally, I'm just going to say, I don't believe she committed suicide, by the way. But it's other information that's happening behind the scenes that a lot of people are not aware. So keep in mind, I just wanted to assure you guys, the reason I'm doing this video is to let you guys know the information that I talk about is very, very real. By the way, hold on, be back. The information I discuss is very real, and people have risked their lives sharing this information. I want just the reason I titled the topic of this particular video something along the lines of what's it called? My previous videos, I want to assure you, were sincerely or genuinely from my heart, and I put it out there as a courtesy because of what I experienced in the past with that particular event that I talked about. I had people contact me behind the scenes and things, and I'm like, if they were going to do what they were going to do, I wouldn't have never gone public. I would have just stayed hush hush or quiet about it. But because a certain individual did not keep their word at the time and was constantly many lies and deception out there, I want to assure you guys, was very, very real, and I wouldn't have put that stuff out there unless it wasn't. And I want to show my true emotions at the time. I was hurt. I'm not afraid to say that. Yes, I did take it personal because to me, you know, it was it was very deceitful when this person came off as though they were very honest with this particular event that I attended, and they gave pretty much ironclad guarantees that things were going to come through with at that time period, even though this started years ago and kind of stretched out into the future and continued. But those videos that I talked about, I left them up. And like I said, I didn't take them down. Some of the original ones I did when I decided, I thought when he individual resurfaced and he came out back in November of 2018. And then once I started to see 2 years into the future, it started to look like the same old, same old. There was a lack of trust. So I started to not trust them. And they still have, at the time, one of their assistants or moderators, when they started cutting people off, compartmentalization they were using after he resurfaced, and they started changing, saying after you're going to be made whole, you're going to get your money. Then they started changing things up, lying again. And then the person I spoke to said, well, you can't access the next site, but he could see my credentials from being a member of the 2009 group. So they still had my information because we were originally promised we were going to receive those documents back. And that was an ironclad promise with the thumb drive that was submitted. So I know someone connected to his organization still had a way of seeing my material at the time. So I want to verify. I'm kind of speaking in code a little bit, but I want to validate all those videos. Everything I talked about is highly accurate. And I want to assure you guys, I put it out there to the world publicly so that you would know, you would understand what I went through, how evil these people were. Some people told me to get over it. Some people were pretty cold. And I understand that some people were compassionate and say, I'm sorry you went through that, Dorsey. You know, they wish me encouragement. I appreciate those that were uplifting, that gave me encouragement, positive reinforcement versus negative reinforcement. Because there was people telling me to get over it, but still wanted the information about how to access the black card, the DTC, stuff like that. But I appreciate you guys who were concerned. Big shout out to those, because nowadays there's a big thing with mental health, mental awareness, and you guys were showed compassion, and I want to thank you for reaching out to me. Those that did, like another sister who attended some years back and said she went through the same thing and felt, that was wrong what he did. And many others I talked to behind the scenes said that wasn't right. That of course, many are afraid to, show themselves. I won't say their names to protect their identity, but they felt the same way as me. So I want to show you was other people out there that were upset, that felt a certain type of way. And I just wanted to assure you the reason I'm doing this video, and I left those videos up because the individual did not keep his promise and basically lied. I feel we were double crossed, by the way. And I spent all this money. I had to get time off from work, time off from my job at the time. I'm still punching the clock, working while they hid or gatekeep the information and spoon feed you and hide certain pieces. Now, new people that's coming to this information that have gotten more advanced than me have gotten their freedom and gotten out. So, imagine people will feel a certain type of way when you were there. You were one of the first people and you didn't get free yet. You were basically sabotaged. You were lied to. I think a lot of people would be upset if you were in the same shoes, if you want to understand where I'm coming from. Kind of spoken cold a little bit, but that's what I want to assure you. So all the videos, a lot of stuff that I talked about in the past, that's not just hearsay. You can kind of say I came out as a whistleblower unofficially. That event was a private clandestine operation. It was unconventional, but I want to let the world know, this is what I went through, and this is really sad. But it made me a stronger person too. And I'm very mentally strong, and it opened my eyes to a lot of different things out here in this world of commerce and the deception. And I just also wanted to be able to have the ability to warn others as well. So I want to thank you guys that have followed me on this journey. Even though I don't do videos as much anymore, I do go live from time to time here and there. But no, on this particular channel, I can't check my back office or anything. I can't comment. But I did see you guys' comments from another channel. I thumbs up or whatever. Sometimes it'll take me a while to respond because some of the questions I have are very, very extensive, and I take a lot of thought in my replies, my responses. So forgive me if I haven't had the ability to reply. But if I do decide to do videos down the road, I just want to assure you guys some of the things that the high level stuff, I probably have a Patreon account for stuff like that I shared that deals with my personal life, that I'll go in business. I'll monetize that, or like some secrets that I know dealing with other things related. Some stuff I put out, I have already shared publicly, but certain things, updates, stuff like that down the road, that's if I do decide. I just wanted to give you guys a sneak preview. So I'm gonna read the comments and I'm gonna get on out of here and shut this video down. By the way, let's see who we got in the building. Okay, we got Wednesday Adams says, hi, glad to catch you live. Okay, awesome. Trying to see here. Okay, I'm trying to StreamYard, they have changed. She says, Wednesday Adams says, thank you, Dorsey. Appreciate you. Okay, I'm just going through the comment list. Let me see here. Together we are one says, greetings, John. So happy to caught you live. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining. Together we are one. Brian says, yes, sir. Yes. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I'm they don't know why StreamYard, they made it more difficult when I try to highlight the comments, when I highlight it, they're telling me to show it on stage. I just used to click it and it would show. Or I guess they're giving you the option. They're making it easier in case you don't have moderators, because I guess so many people were trolling. So they've changed things a bit with StreamYard. Mary Sonda says, "Shalom, Mr. Dorsey. Appreciate you." Well, that's my time pretty much. I just wanted to let you all know my previous videos. I wanted to assure you were genuinely straight from my heart. And thank you guys for continuing to rock with me. Appreciate you all. Until next time. And don't forget to subscribe to the new channel at Dorsey's Resource 873. That's at Dorsey's Resource 873. Feel free to still comment, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.